the best fighters. You know, you have good facilities, you have quality participation, and good officiating, the best referees on the continent. And there's no way you will not get world recognition if you get it right. And you know, we are so happy for Chika Chukwumerije's Sports Foundation. And we hope that...
And by extension, the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation.
Yes,
and the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation, under George Ashiru.
Yes, and that it moves to the next level. You know, it will also impact positively on taekwondoists from Nigeria. You know, because, I mean, all the efforts will pale into significance if, you know, it doesn't impact positively on the sports in Nigeria. This should inspire more and more, you know, able-bodied sportsmen and women to take to these sports.
And hopefully the standards, like you said, will be raised and we will benefit from it. I mean, I agree with you that there is no use if it becomes a global event, and you know, here in Nigeria we don't really, we're not getting much value from it. All right, let's go to athletics. It's not news that athletics, you know, globally they've been going through a lot of troubles recently before the World Athletics Championship. I mean, all hell broke loose. You know, issues about doping all around. You know, even WADA was not spared. You know, some people claim they weren't doing their job. But in the news now is our African brother, Diack. He's been accused of, you know, suppressing information, not doing enough to allow issues about all these cases come to light. And if you ask me, those are weighty allegations. Very weighty, I mean, and the onus is on Diack to prove whether he's innocent or guilty. You know, like you said, he's under investigation for corruption and aggravated money laundering. You know, he's suspected of taking at least 200,000 euros from Russian athletes to cover up positive doping tests. You know, one name has always been a recurring decimal as far as doping is concerned. Russia and Kenya.
Earlier this year, there was a private...
The Kenyans are also involved in this one as well.
Yes, earlier this year, there was a private investigation that indicted a lot of people. And I think that was why, you know, there had been a lot of speculation that it was suppressed. You know, and like you said, today, French police raided the office of the IAAF in Monaco and took away some documents. And the new British president, Sebastian Coe, was at the headquarters at that time, and he volunteered, you know, to answer questions. See, I think it's not good for the sports. Doping has always been there, but the federation should be very, very transparent and honest in the way it has been handled. We have had several cases of some athletes claiming that they were innocent, some claiming, you know, that they were framed up, and we shouldn't be hearing of such things. Because if you are clean as an athlete and you are not winning, it can demoralize you. If it is when you get the realization that some athletes who did better than you were, you know,
were inspired
by goals. So I think the onus is on this man to clear his name if actually he's innocent.
But Tony, let me quickly come to you. These allegations, I mean, the integrity of the sport. Before the World Athletics Championship, Usain Bolt and some top stars were saying, look, it is not fair for people who have done, you know, committed doping offenses, they come back, they run against somebody who has
and they run against clean athletes.
But the integrity of the sport, that's just what I want to look. Even if Diack comes out clean, he's facing corruption charges, these are weighty allegations. But even if he comes clean, I doubt that, but even if he does, the integrity of the sport in your own eyes.
Yeah, and exactly what we said yesterday when we were talking about the FIFA issue and the fact that everybody is getting dragged into it. My worry really is what athletics is becoming.
Yeah.
The stakes are getting too high. It's becoming so competitive, and the winners are smiling home with so much that everybody is now taking it as a do or die because the stakes are just too high.
Yeah.
And those athletes that want to be clean are under tremendous pressure to have a share of the cake, and they are tempted to want to do something to cut corners and be able to rub shoulders with their contemporaries. And I think it's an issue, really, what Usain Bolt said about admitting those who have failed 1-2 times, allow them to compete with those who have been clean all along. That's always going to bring a little bit of doubt, integrity questions around that sport, because there's no way someone who has never failed the test before and he runs against a guy who has done it several times will always feel that they are competing on the same level ground. But I think, as Onye said, Lamine Diack,
in the eye
of the storm, he has to clear his name. And I hope that for the sake of the sport, just as we said on the show yesterday, we preserve the integrity and the sanctity of athletics and lay a mark, where we'll say, look, from this point onward, let's make this clean. It's that kind of problem that cycling also had a few years ago, where everybody in cycling, almost everybody who is one, you have a competition,
I think it's across board,
and the first 7 finishers will fail drug tests.
Will be tainted.
So what's the competition all about? So I think that's the issue really around sports.
And the big question usually is that why did it take so long, before it was revealed that most of this, especially cycling, we are using
for a long time.
For a long time. So that brings you to the
conspiracy of silence.
It's worrying because the IAAF has previously denied the existence of doping.
Systemic on the eve of the elections that brought in Sebastian Kohli, remember all the politics?
Yes.
And I think that's another issue. Once there's this politics and changing of guards, all of these things begin to come up. Well, some will say it is politics to try to rubbish the leadership of those federations or those associations. Some will say, look, it's a genuine attempt to clean on the sport. So we really have to draw a line between all of these so that sport is preserved, because it's something else for you to want to clean up the sport and you bring everybody in and drag everybody down, or you want to protect the sanctity of the sport and clean it up.
Another interesting thing comes to mind, before we go on break, and let me quickly hear Onye's perspective on this. Some of the stars that we've known over the years that, stayed on in our minds are these worthy champions. Some people are now saying some of them are waiting to be caught, or But the question I'm going to ask is that how do we see those people now if there's a big question mark about some of these athletes that it's possible they could have spiked their system, because these things, like you guys have said, has been there over the years. So there are chances that some of these guys that we see as worthy champions, role models, could have spark the system one way or the other.
Obviously, there will be a huge doubt here. Let me digress a bit. When Diego Maradona was playing for Napoli, they didn't talk about any drugs. But later when he retired, there were issues. That even the club, were part of the conspiracy. Especially when you are doing so well for them, you are very crucial, to them. So the same thing applies for athletics. They have a lot of sponsors. These stars, attract sponsors. Usain Bolt, all the top stars, they always attract sponsors. Somehow they will know, and they want to keep quiet because in a bid to, like Tony said, protect the sanctity, the integrity of the sports. But sometimes you have to create a balance. You have to take a decision, clean the sports, and be seen to be honest and transparent. That is it. The dangers, the complexities of doping system is that you take some samples. The people who are taking the samples, do they have integrity? Okay. Are they honest?
Not to tamper with it. Yeah, because that's another issue point that a lot of tampering was going on. But
so it could be that they have spiked the system, but that is very difficult to prove.
A lot will be revealed in the days to come. Of course, you talked about some of the samples that are currently being tested, and the results will be published in mid-November. So we're very close. What has promised us that all of these samples. So
and I even read somewhere that I think some time ago they had to transport, they had to fly some of the blood samples, urine samples. They had to fly them, several kilometers from where the event took place. And, during this process, a lot of things could take place.
Okay, talking about cleaning up the sports, not just football, across board now. Let's quickly come to football and talk a little about people promising reforms, promising to bring change to the global game. Let's allow you to listen to prominent South African contesting for the FIFA presidency, Tokyo Sexwale. We allow you to listen to him, talk about what he plans to do for FIFA if he gets elected, and we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.